felt it would be a good idea to show you how to locate the agendas for the school board meetings, as well as how to search in the school board site, and then give an example of something that we have found that's embedded within the agenda for this upcoming June 15th meeting. So within, you'll see there's a hyperlink or a URL that will be part of this video. You'll click on that and it'll take you to a site that looks like this. And what you do is you then click over to where it says meetings. And then over to the side here, it'll list all the different meetings that are upcoming. The meeting agendas for the school boards come out the Wednesday prior to the new meeting. So it would be yesterday we received the agenda for the meeting that's coming up on June 15th. And all the previous meetings are in here as well. So you can always go back and peruse those, which I highly encourage. So if we click see on June 15th, you can see there's a school board meeting, and then you can see there's a workshop session. That's usually what the board does prior to a meeting. It's a closed session. It's very important that we go in and look and see what they're discussing there, because oftentimes it's consent items, which are items that they will just automatically approve in the meeting. So you want to see what those documents are. And then there's a closed session here, which is, we don't usually see it, it's a litigation. If you click on that, you can see there's not a whole lot of information, at least there wasn't yesterday. So if we click on the agenda, yeah, no information. So we don't know what that litigation is actually about. So I'm gonna go back to meetings. Let's see if the workshop session, again, you come over here, you click view agenda. Okay, so they do have all these items for the workshop session now. I'll be going through these today. I'm not gonna do that in this video right now. But these you definitely need to look at, because a lot of them speak to the items that are consent items that will be on the agenda that are automatically approved. No discussion, you won't hear any information about it. And that's how things get slid through without us knowing. So let's click on the school board meeting agenda. Come over to view the agenda. And this is the agenda for next week. You can kind of see that's everything that's going to be covered. It seems like a lot, and in some cases it is, and some of them are quick hitters. So they have their standard information, minutes from the previous meeting. They do teachers recognition. They have a section for public comment that's done for agenda items only. So the attorney will bring up agenda items, and you can get up and speak. Now, each individual has 3 minutes, period. If you want to break that 3 minutes into, 1 minute for an agenda item, another minute for an agenda item, and then public comment at the end, they don't care, but you don't get more than 3 minutes to speak to these lords and lasses. So then you've got the United School Employees of Pasco, which is the union. Board members give their reports, and so on and so forth. Here is the approval of consent agenda items. Again, these are the items. If you scroll down, you'll see consent. Again, they will not discuss these. So if we want to bring them up and require them to hear us, you have to fill out a card when you get to the meeting, and you need to speak to the agenda item that you want to use your minute up to 3 minutes to share your feedback with them. And then administrative consent items. So all these are consent items. So these are just like, boom, going to go right through. No one's going to have any discussion or whatnot unless we bring them up. So we need to. So I've gone through all of these so far, and everything seems pretty vanilla for the most part until you get down to support services. And this is where things tend to get put in. Some big ones that we always focus on looking is purchasing. So the first purchasing item, you click on it, and then over here it tells you what this item is, and it says, accordance with Florida State Statute, Department of Education Rule, blah, blah, the School Board Policy 6320, attached contracts and agreements are being submitted for board approval. So when you click on this particular document, you see that the Department of Finance Services, Dominic Cristofaro, is requiring to have an approval for an agreement. Looks like they're trying to hire First Financial Resources as a collection agency to collect some receivables that are less than $50,000 at a fee of 25%. We have no idea the reason for this. We have no idea what budget line item receivables they're not getting paid for, that they are requiring the need for a collection agency, but that's just what it is. So going back to the agenda, then I go back to purchasing miscellaneous approval requests. Click on Qualtrics expenditure board item. So definitely want to bring this to your attention because this shows that it is a request for approval, and it's an approval. They want to have the board approve $105,000. It's an additional expenditure to be brought to the board for approval when anticipated increase is $10,000 or more. So $105,000 to a company called Qualtrics LLC. And they put their reference, and if you look up this Florida Administrative Code, it basically, they tell us that it allows them to acquire information technology by direct negotiation with contract with the vendor supplier if that best fits the need of the school district as determined by the district school board. In other words, it shouldn't matter to us. We don't get any say in it in terms of there's no public hearing or something to that effect, from what I can see. I don't know if that violates sunshine law, because what I'm about to show you is not going to make you happy. So what we do when we see stuff like this, it looks innocent enough. It's, general revenue, professional technical services, so what is this anyway? So Qualtrics LLC, when you first do a research on Qualtrics LLC, it looks like a predictive analytics cloud-based software that many businesses use. For schools, it's a little bit different. So when you do searches to try to get information, you really got to dig and kind of do various searches where, like a Boolean search, where you use different words together to kind of get narrow down a specific type of information you're looking for. So for this particular one, I did Qualtrics predictive analytics and got some information. And then I did Qualtrics, I did TNTP, which is an organization from a previous board meeting that we were able to determine is providing a little bit of critical race theory, equity kind of items. The board has hired them to do, some things. They're very left-leaning groups, so we'll share more of that later. But there is a correlation between the two. They both go to different meetings together as companies. They sponsor each other. TNTP completely sponsors Qualtrics for all of their work. So then I did a search of Qualtrics and schools. So you do Qualtrics and schools. So the first thing that pulls up, it says revolutionize the academic experience. Qualtrics helps you improve student, campus, faculty, alumni experience, identify and address root causes of essential outcomes, take action to improve applicant experience, graduation rates, alumni giving. Looks innocent. I'm not thrilled with predictive analytics because I don't trust it 100% in all cases, and definitely in our schools, but looks interesting enough. But I go back and I look at the next search, and this is the whole thing, is you just can't stop at one. You have to keep going. You have to keep looking at different things. So then I clicked on this next one, and Qualtrics Return to Learn Hub. System checking and contact tracing. Okay, so system checking via CDC-aligned self-certification is the first step in identifying possible individual exposure and group hotspots. So they have the ability to quickly and confidentially assess symptoms, automatically notify those impacted with next steps, provide daily notifications to monitor symptoms, aggregate data and sentiment to identify trends and hotspots. Okay, not loving that. Then it's student and staff well-being. With the stress of global pandemic, social injustice, and social unrest, it is vital for schools and institutions to monitor well-being and to identify specific individuals who need additional support. So because of the pandemic, social injustice and social unrest. So what are they going to be using this for? And then there's this thing called the Character Lab. I'm not going to dig into this right now, but I'm going to assume that the Character Lab is going to be some sort of a score. Something that our kids are going to be given what appears to be a certain type of survey. And just full disclosure, I have no validation that Pasco County Schools is going to use this product in this way, but we definitely need answers, right? So then I go down here, immunization management. Streamline your process through automated reporting, reminders, and alerts to help your school or campus coordinate vaccination records. Qualtrics immunization management enables schools and institutions to track COVID-19, flu, and other vaccinations. Track immunization compliance. So the word compliance is never a word that I'm happy to see in this particular context. So you'll be able to track immunization compliance for students, teachers, and staff. Quickly adapt to CDC guidance and state requirements. Alert stakeholders to take actions when vaccinations are overdue. I mean, this is a pretty Mac Daddy immunization management data analytic method in which to track our children. But this is something we just wanted to get out right away and just show you how something as innocent as a simple little request for money for a cloud-based software turns into something potentially a little more nefarious. And the school board, this is a consent item, would have slipped this right through, and we would have no way of knowing if this was actually happening or going to be happening or implemented in our schools.